We're going to revolutionize the $17.5 billion art industry in the United States. My name is Sean Lehman, and I'm one of the co-founders of Quay Leasing. The sharing economy is transforming everyday life, and access to goods has become more important than ownership of them. It used to be the case that when you bought a car, you barely used it, and it looked something like this. And then came Zipcar, which gave you wheels when you needed them. And then it was the case that when you traveled, you spent a lot of money on a hotel room that looked something like that. And then came Airbnb, which let you travel like a human, disrupting the travel industry. And then it was the case that when buying art or trying to acquire art, you went to a gallery that looked something like that. Not a very good selection, and you paid really high prices for your art. And now there's us, Quay Leasing, which lets you access the world's most exclusive art. It's amazing because art transactions have occurred almost the same way they have since the 1700s, when Sotheby's and Christie's were founded. But that will change. Art's being democratized, and multi-million-dollar works of art are being purchased online with a click of a button. And what's even crazier is that 97% of the world's art just sits in storage in the basement of museums like this one, or often unsold at galleries. And at the same time, demand for art in the United States is as high as it's ever been. In the US alone, it is a $17.5 billion market. In the past 4 years, it's grown 61%. The first half of this year, it's grown 7%. And just last night, the largest auction results in history ever happened, where $691 million of art were sold in a single night in New York City. Which means there's a big opportunity. And we at Quay Leasing are here to exploit that. And we're going to unlock the untapped value that sits in art and storage. And we're going to revolutionize what's been a historically very traditional industry with a new business model, and that's art leasing. Now, we already have some competitors in this space, and they're generally regional. There's the Art Gallery of Ontario, the Portland Museum, and also the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art that are leasing art to businesses that's on the middle to high tier artwork. And also, a company just launched in New York City called Art Rimba that's leasing art to consumers that's also sort of mid to high end art. Our model is going to be business to business, and we're going to connect the mid to higher tier art galleries with the vast potential corporate clients that exist in New York City. Every one of those windows is a potential client for Quay Leasing. Art and corporations is not a new concept, but having better art for cheaper is. Corporations love our solution. For them, they already spend millions of dollars annually supporting the arts. And our leasing solution allows them to bring the art galleries in-house. It's tax deductible, the payments, whereas purchasing art is not. And it's a much more flexible solution. Now, what does it look like? On our website, you go and you see our database, which currently has 50 paintings and growing. As a consumer, you log in and you select the paintings you like. In this case, some UK and Russian artists. And then you add them to your favorites, which lets us know that you're interested in those artworks. Then we call you to confirm the details. In this particular case, the company will pay $50,000 a year for these 4 works of art. Our revenue is 20% of that, or $10,000, and the gallery takes the other 80%, our gallery partner. Now you say, isn't $50,000 a lot to spend on 4 works of art? Not exactly. In just one of those floors in New York, it can cost a firm $5 to $7 million. So if they're not having, so to keep them from having white walls, $50,000 is not a lot of money. So where are we today? We've achieved 3 significant milestones. The first is that we've initiated our first pilot transaction in New York City to a private equity firm. We already have a partnership with the Burnt Mills Gallery and also insurance partners. And we have an awesome team. First, there's me. My name is Sean Lehman, as I said before. I'm from New York, and I have a background in wealth management. There's Regina Caballero from Mexico City, who's grown up in a big family of art collectors and supporters, and she has a very deep and extensive network of galleries and museums. And then there's Jamal Sabki, also from New York, who is a wizard at logistics and is an art historian by training. And then our partner, our advisor, his name is Bob Sullivan, and he was our first partnership. So what do we need? We're asking for $175,000, which helps us solidify our team and get ramped up in selling in the heart of New York City. In 4 years, we're going to have $8 million in EBITDA, which sounds like a lot, but it's actually very reasonable. That means leasing 2,000 paintings at 5,000 euros commission each, which is actually just equal to 5 buildings in New York City. So thank you very much. We're Quay Leasing, and we look forward to taking your questions.
Just a quick comment. I mean, 175,000. That's not even, you know, a seed round in the Middle East. You know, like, what are you gonna do with it? You know, like, that's, you know, like, what's 175 gonna take you?
That's to pay our salaries and help us ramp up selling full time. We've been doing this remotely from Madrid and Jamal and Bob in the U.S., but that's giving us the ability to market and sell more.
So assuming zero revenue, 175 with your burn takes you how many months?
Yeah, how long?
Oh, that'll get us through about the first 6 months. 6 months to a year.
Advice as an investor, we're looking at minimum of 12. Even 15 in the U.S., to be honest, if you're competing in this market. I've had some bad experiences in the art space, art renting, sharing art space. I can share with you offline.
Sure.
But it's just, you know, you want to get at least 12 to 15 months under your belt.
I mean, we think it'll get us 6 months to a year, but that's about the answer. So
6 months to a year is a big difference, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a wealth manager. It's a big difference.
Just one question on the insurance. Is the model here $1,500 for a $30,000 a year lease? Is that like, that seems low. I would have expected insurance to be much higher for some of these pieces of art.
We didn't talk about insurance costs.
It's in your,
specific. Oh,
sorry.
Oh, you have the summary.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd that come from?
Maybe just talk about insurance. In
yeah,
general.
insurance is roughly 1% of the value of a painting. So if it's a $50,000 painting, it would be $500.
Got it. Cool.
Yes.
Hi, I think there is a huge opportunity there. Did you try to make some pilot transaction, even offline, without any website, but just to match this demand and?
Yeah, we've already done one pilot transaction, which was a private equity firm, a small firm that's based out of New York and New Hampshire, and so yes, is the short answer.
How much was it?
It was a pilot transaction, so it was a few $100. It was mostly for us to make sure that we had all the logistics set up, and we learned a couple things in the process, and to figure out how long it takes to get things delivered, make sure we get the insurance contracts, make sure we have the legal contracts all set. So the transaction was essentially to allow us to cover all of our initial expenses. Thank you.